What does true power look like? Is it the thunder of a million soldiers on the march? The silent weight of gold in a vault? Or the quiet authority of an idea that shapes the world for 1,000 years? For over 2 millennia, the Middle Kingdom was ruled by a succession of dynasties, each claiming the mandate of heaven. But which one wielded that mandate with the most undeniable force? To find the most powerful Chinese dynasty, we must become judges in history's greatest courtroom. We will put the Han, Temps, Song, Ming, and Qing on trial, weighing their military conquests, economic strength, cultural reach, and sheer staying power. This is the story of imperial China's peaks and the quest to find its highest summit. Our first witness is the dynasty that didn't just rule China, but defined what it meant to be Chinese. The Han Dynasty stands as the architect of the Chinese identity. Lasting over 4 centuries, it gave its name to the Han people, the dominant ethnic group in China today. But its power was forged in fire and blood. Its greatest rival was the nomadic Zhongnu Confederation on the northern steppes. For decades, the Han paid them tribute, a humiliating price for peace. Then came Emperor Wu. He launched a century-long total war, building massive cavalry armies to chase the nomads into their own homeland. The cost was staggering, but the result was a broken enemy and a secured frontier. This military might unlocked the Silk Road, turning it into a controlled artery of trade and influence that reached deep into Central Asia. The Han's power was the power of relentless, institutional will. They demonstrated that lasting security required the total dismantling of a rival, no matter the expense. Yet, this lesson came with a warning. The endless campaigns drained the treasury and burdened the people, showing that military hegemony, if not balanced, could hollow out an empire from within. The Han set the template for power, but also revealed its first great paradox. Following centuries of fragmentation, the Temps dynasty emerged not just as a conqueror, but as the dazzling center of the world. Its capital, Chang'an, was the planet's largest and most cosmopolitan city, a magnet for traders, scholars, and pilgrims from across Asia. Temps' power was magnetic. Its art, poetry, fashion, and laws became the standard for civilization from Korea to Japan. Militarily, its early armies were unmatched, expanding China's borders to their furthest western reach. But the Tang's most stunning demonstration of power was its resilience. It survived the catastrophic An Lushan Rebellion, a civil war that killed millions and shattered central authority. Yet the dynasty endured for another 150 years. The moral of the Temps is the power of confidence, and their strength came from an open, syncretic culture that absorbed foreign influences and radiated sophistication. This cultural soft power made submission to the Temps feel like entering the heart of civilization itself. However, their story also warns that the decentralized military power and openness that built the empire could, when the center weakened, become the very forces that nearly destroyed it. Next, we encounter the great anomaly, the Song dynasty. By traditional measures, the Song was weak. It never controlled the strategic western territories, lived under constant threat from northern empires like the Jin, and paid hefty tributes for peace. Yet, by nearly every other metric, the Song presided over the most advanced society on Earth. This was power redefined. The Song economy was a marvel. They introduced the world's first government-issued paper money, mastered iron production on an industrial scale, and created a thriving national market. They were the inventors, perfecting gunpowder weapons, pioneering movable-type printing, and using the compass for navigation. Their cities were bustling hubs of commerce and culture. The Song scholar officio, selected by meritocratic exams, represented a peak of rational administration. The moral lesson here is revolutionary. National strength can be decoupled from relentless military expansion. The Song proved that economic prosperity, technological genius, and sophisticated governance could create a civilization of unparalleled wealth and refinement, even under persistent external threat. Their power was in the mint, the printing press, and the exam hall. Yet, their tragic final lesson is that in a world of aggressive neighbors, intellectual and economic supremacy alone cannot guarantee survival without the martial resolve to defend it. After expelling the Mongol Yuan dynasty, the Ming sought to restore Han Chinese glory through sheer monumental scale. Their power was expressed in audacious, physical statements. They built the Great Wall, as we know. Ita stone and brick colossus meant to permanently freeze the northern border. They constructed the Forbidden City, a palace complex designed to embody the emperor's cosmic centrality. And most famously, they launched the treasure voyages of Admiral Zhang He. These were not mere explorations. They were floating cities of power projection. His colossal ships, dwarfing any European vessel, crisscrossed the Indian Ocean, displaying Ming supremacy and bringing dozens of kingdoms into its tributary system through. This was power as breathtaking theater. The Ming lesson is about the potency of spectacle and centralized will. They show that grand symbols immensual. The vast fleet could communicate invincibility to the world. But the irony is profound. The very inward focus and monumental cost of these projects ultimately drained the dynasty. The voyages were halted, the wall became a symbol of defensive isolation, and the ultra-centralized system grew brittle. Ming power was spectacular, but like a magnificent suit of armor, it was heavy, expensive, and could isolate the wearer from a changing world. Our final contender is the last dynasty, and by the raw metrics of scale, the most formidable, the Qing, ruled by the Manchu. The Qing built a multi-ethnic empire of staggering proportions. At its peak, under the Qianlong Emperor, it ruled over modern China, Mongolia, Tibet, Xinjiang, and Taiwan. Its population soared to over 300 million, a third of humanity at the time. Its bureaucracy managed this colossal domain with pragmatic, flexibly rule, presenting different faces to different peoples. A Confucian sage emperor to the Han, a Buddhist patron to Tibetans, a Khan to the Mongols. The early Qing military was a highly effective combined force that ruthlessly expanded and pacified the realm. The moral of the Qing's rise is the power of hybrid vigor and pragmatic assimilation. They mastered the art of ruling a vast, diverse empire by adapting their governance to each region while keeping the core of power firmly in Manchu hands. However, the Qing's final, devastating lesson is about the complacency of success. The very scale and stability that defined their power bred a profound sense of superiority and self-sufficiency. As the West industrialized, the Qing court famously dismissed foreign technology as unnecessary. This refusal to adapt to a new world order led directly to the dynasty's humiliating collapse in the face of modern imperialism. Qing power was the mightiest, in the classical sense, but it was a fortress with no answer for the new artillery of the 19th century. So, who holds the crown? The Han forged the enduring Chinese identity. The Temps perfected cosmopolitan soft power. The Song achieved a zenith of economic and intellectual might. The Ming projected power through unforgettable spectacle. The Qing mastered scale and multi-ethnic governance. Each dynasty was the most powerful in a specific dimension. The true lesson from this imperial inquest is that power is not a single mountain peak, but a range with different summits. Each dynasty's particular genius contained the seed of its eventual weakness. The Han's military exhaustion, the Tang's destabilizing openness, the Song's military vulnerability, the Ming's costly introspection, the Qing's fatal complacency. Therefore, the title of most powerful may be less about picking a single winner and more about understanding a profound cycle. The ultimate power in Chinese history was not a single dynasty, but the civilization's relentless, cyclical capacity to reinvent itself, to rise again and again in new forms, learning, adapting, and projecting its influence across millennia. The most powerful force was the enduring engine of Chinese civilization itself.